Hey guys, Tom Kalinoski of wallcovering.com. Just a quick video I want to put out there for people that are shopping for wall covering and they might be unsure of how to buy or where to buy, or what the difference is between a DIY product and a professional product. A lot of younger people are buying self-stick products and they want us to put it up, and I have no problem with that, but I have a surcharge for that because many of the self-stick products have been printed by third-party companies that are not professional wall covering manufacturers. So what that means is that there tend to be more defects with the products, and they also charge a lot more by the square foot, whereas the standard industry standard is to sell and order by the double roll. You're paying by the single roll, so double roll is 2 single rolls, but it's almost always sold in a professional manufacturer, a wall covering manufacturer that's been around a long time, which I can recommend. It's always going to be shipped to you by the double roll, so you're getting approximately 3 8-foot strips for a room, and depending on the type of pattern it is, whether it's a half drop, a multiple drop, or a straight across match, and to repeat how far the patterns are vertically between each other, you might have to order a little extra. But those are some examples of things that these third-party wall covering companies don't consider. So you have to be really careful. So if you are going to order a self-stick, I don't like to bash companies. We'll hang it if you want, but we do have a surcharge for that because there have been so many problems with the product. Okay, and for example, you're, like I said earlier, you're paying by the square foot, number one, and they're not all bad, but a lot of them are. Okay, and then when we have to pre-plan a room, just take for example, we have to make sure we know where all the panels are going to fall after we and before we cut out of a double roll. Okay, and also importantly, a lot of the companies pre-cut your strips. So if I'm doing a wall, let's just take this wall here, okay? I have to measure that wall, and I have to know approximately or precisely where all my panels are going to fall after I paste all my sheets to accurately know what the layout and how is going to look like, and how the patterns are going to flow together to look consistent, balanced, plumb, level, and square. So many of the self-stick companies, the companies that make this self-stick product or cut it or reproduce it, like, Staples, some place like that, it's going to print your wallpaper. They pre-cut it so that we have to, when we put it up to the wall, I have to adjust it to make sure that the patterns balance and are plumb, level, and square, and that they are properly matched. We can't do that with a self-stick because they pre-cut it, and they're giving you strips versus the industry standard of getting your wallpaper shipped to you by the double roll. Okay, so that's a big problem. And what I always recommend to people is you're always going to be better off getting it unpasted, which is best quality, or pre-pasted. And also it's a good idea to go to your family-owned or Sherwin-Williams, say, Benjamin Moore store, where they have the wallpaper books in the store. And you might have one, and they still have the old-fashioned, like grandma and mom used to get, the old wallpaper books, where you can actually look at a sample and actually feel the durability, the washability, the cleanability, and the strength of the backing. Some are fabric backed and are stronger and more appropriate for wet areas, bathrooms, a workout area, say a family room, a studio, a basement, finished basement, or a kitchen. Okay, so I can make those specific recommendations for you, but I highly recommend to go to a wallpaper store and look through the books, and usually you're going to find your pattern in a photograph to get a better idea. But if you have to order online, say from YorkWallcoverings.com or Brewster or Phillips Jeffries or any one of the other companies that have been around 100 plus years, it's always important to get a square foot or a notebook size sample sent to you to test and actually feel the strength of the wall covering. And you know what, if you decide to order from a store, on the back of the book, it's always going to tell you, it'll always be printed on the back of the page, the type of match it is, okay? The washability, the durability, the light fastness of it, and whether it's pre-pasted or unpasted, and whether it's peelable, meaning the ease of removal. And what we do before we start to hang is we always double check the run die lot numbers to make sure that they all match, because if they don't, then you're going to have an issue with color variations, and it may not look perfect. The colors, I mean, won't be consistent when and after it's been hung. So that's really important. And you know, we always inspect it before we put it up, so we'll inform the homeowner right away if there are any issues, so that, you know, if there is, you can return it, get a replacement or a refund. If you do go to a wall covering and paint retailer versus online, try sending that back and getting a refund. It's going to be really difficult. So if you have any other questions, feel free to call, and it's down below. It's thomaswallcovering.com. Have a great day.